Hey, Jake with B&H, and today we're talking about yet another exciting new lens release from Sigma. This is the new and improved 35mm f1.4 DGDN art lens for the Sony E-mount. Now, some of you may remember the original and very popular 35mm f1.4 HSM DN art lens, which was initially designed to be used with DSLRs, but was then re-engineered so that it could mount directly onto a mirrorless camera. However, that updated design resulted in a much larger size lens barrel. Thankfully, this brand new 35mm f1.4 DGDN is specifically designed for the mirrorless E-mount system, which means it's smaller and lighter. It also just so happens to feature a brand new optical design, a fast and quiet STM motor, declickable manual aperture ring, and an iris lock switch, on top of a rugged lens body that's built like a tank, so let's roll. I think it should be noted that this lens is part of the esteemed art line within Sigma's Global Vision series, which means this lens is designed to achieve truly notable optical performance and is suited specifically for creative and artistic applications. With that in mind, it should come as no surprise, this lens comes equipped with a bright f1.4 maximum aperture, making it well suited for working in available lighting conditions while providing extensive control over your depth of field. This is a great asset to have with a versatile lens like a 35mm, since its broad field of view takes in a lot of the scene. But when you open up all the way to an f1.4, your background will fall off beautifully, isolating your subject. The brand new optical design features 15 elements in 11 groups that include FLD and SLD elements to help achieve a reduction in chromatic aberrations, while a pair of aspherical elements minimize a variety of additional distortions and aberrations. The 11-blade circular diaphragm provides smooth and pleasing bokeh quality. With that said, this lens is great for landscapes, architecture, and environmental portraits because it has such a wide field of view, hence we took it upstate to Tarrytown to have some fun. So what I love about a 35mm focal length is the versatility of the field of view. You can do landscape architecture, this beautiful landscape before us here in Sleepy Hollow, but I also have Derek, a model. It's great for environmental portraits. So because of the 1.4, you can really isolate your subject, but you still get the background. You can still see the background. It's not a 50, it's not an 85 where you're compressing your field of view narrowly. You're getting everything in the shot. So I'm getting the trees, the river, the bridge, and the building in the background while isolating Derek in the foreground. Just a great versatile lens. One of my favorite focal lengths is the 35mm. It's one of the most popular out there. Because it's an art lens, the bokeh is real nice. Really, really nice. And it's great too for models because, with the 35mm, you can get the whole body. So you can see the whole outfit. So if you're shooting any kind of fashion, lifestyle stuff, this is great. And he's got a great outfit and he's making it work for me right now. The head, the jacket, the jeans, the shoes, everything. It's the perfect focal length for environmental portraiture. And then I say, okay, that's enough of him. I want to do a landscape, and I just move here and boom, I have a nice landscape shot. Versatility of a 35mm. I love it. It also has a decent minimum focusing distance of 30 centimeters with a maximum magnification ratio of 1 to 5.4, which is great if you find a detail on the ground or you're sitting at a table. You can get that nice close-up shot. Autofocus performance has been greatly improved thanks to the new STM motor that provides incredibly fast and quiet autofocus when shooting both photos and videos. Just take a look at some of the tests we did on site. Derek, your face just looks so cold. Looks so Miz. I have it in autofocus continuous mode. I'm gonna have Derek put his hand up, put his hand down, put his hand up, put his down. See how fast the lens can rack focus between his face and his hand. So let's try that a few times. All right, grabs it pretty quickly. All right, take it down. Boom, almost instantaneous. Do it again. Boom, grabs his hand. Boom, takes it down. Perfect. All right, Derek. So now I want to test the tracking of what we call a dolly in, a dolly out. So I'm going to have Derek walk backwards and then walk forwards, and we'll see how well it tracks his face as he walks backwards and forwards. So Derek, go ahead and take a few steps back. Yeah, staying with him. All right, now come back. There it goes. Yeah, I stay with him the whole time. Really nice. All right, do it again. Take some step back. Yeah, Staying on his eye. I have eye and face detect on, and it's staying with him the whole time. Yep, there he is. Bingo. All right, do me a favor. Step out of frame. Step over there. Okay, so now it went back to the background. All right, Derek, now come back into frame for me. Let's see how fast he grabs him. Boom, instantaneously. Yeah. So this lens can clearly keep up with Sony's amazing autofocus performance. Just like the 85mm 1.4 DGDN art lens that was released last year, this too features a brand new manual aperture ring, which I love because I come from a video background. Therefore, I'm very used to changing my iris manually on the lens barrel itself. So this is a welcome design feature, but the functionality doesn't stop there. This manual aperture can be declicked with a simple switch. So depending on your preference, you can seamlessly change your exposure, or if you prefer that little tactile click when adjusting exposure, you can do that too. I personally prefer the declick, especially for video production, as it comes in handy when you're capturing a shot that moves from indoors to outdoors. If you want even more confidence and control over your new manual aperture ring, you can easily engage this new aperture lock switch. This simple switch allows you to lock your aperture in one of two positions. If you set it to A and then lock it, your lens will be locked in auto iris. If you move out of the A position and then lock it, it will then be locked into manual iris. This clever feature will keep you from accidentally moving from auto to manual or manual to auto in the middle of shooting. You'll also find a dedicated focus mode switch, so you can quickly go from AF to MF. And then there is a sleek new AFL or autofocus lock button, which can be customized to your liking by going into your camera's menu. The lens body is a robust design that features weather-resistant construction with a brass bayonet that affords improved mounting accuracy and rigidity. As I mentioned earlier, this new mirrorless design means this new version is smaller and lighter, weighing only 640 grams. Compare that to the original, which was 755 grams. What is even more compelling is when you compare it to the Sigma 35 f1.2 art lens that weighs 1,090 grams and measures almost a full inch longer than this new 35mm f1.4 art lens, which measures 75.5 millimeters in diameter by 111.5 millimeters long. In the box, Sigma provides you with a convenient carry case that fits the lens perfectly, as well as a sleek lens hood that locks securely with a button you press to release it. I wanted to mention that Sigma also released this lens in the L mount, and my colleague Bjorn took that version around the city with his Sigma FP-L camera. Here are some of his images. You can really almost shoot anything with a 35mm focal length, hence its popularity and saturation in the marketplace, which may explain why Sigma now has 4 different 35mm models. However, I think this new lens fits very nicely between the larger aperture 35mm f1.2 art lens and the 35mm f2 contemporary lens. This new 35mm f1.4 DGDN art is going to provide you with more artistic expression than the f2 contemporary version, while it is more compact and lean than the f1.2 art version. Not to mention, considerably less money, and you only lose about 1/3 of a stop of light. And therein lies the beauty of Sigma lenses: high quality glass and a robust body with professional performance at a consistently affordable price point. The first lens I ever purchased was a 30mm Sigma in 2012. I wasn't disappointed then, and I'm not disappointed now. Between the bright f1.4 aperture, the fast and precise STM motor, and the manually declicked aperture ring, this lens performs at a high level and does not hurt the wallet. What do you think? Where does this lens fit in your kit? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Jake with B&H. Just keep rolling. Oh my God, dude, new profile picture. New profile picture. The hair.